Hi, I'm Caroyn Sheridan from Ag Health and Safety Alliance. Very happy to be with you today to record our 2020 ISASH presentation and also making sure we're doing it up right. Have our ISASH lanyard, gonna put that on, and also spend some time to cross out 2019 for 2020. Hey Sully, do you have your ISASH thing?
Funny you should mention that, Caroline. I do, actually. It's right here.
Oh, good job. And we talked to Christina about that. Hers is in the office, right, Christina?
Yes, mine is in the office. It's okay, but I still got it.
You still got it, and you've been working from home, not from your office, like many of us.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and start our presentation. Very happy to be with you. And like everybody else said, have not become very accustomed to doing our presentations online and recorded, maybe used to doing presentations live, Zoom, something like that. So the three of us are going to hang out with you guys for about 15 minutes and talk to you about a really unique concept that we're excited about. And it's called Storytelling Tools in the Gear Up for Ag Health and Safety Classroom. And we really have focused on the farm and ranch emergency preparedness for our story cards. And this project was funded by the Western Center for Agricultural Health and Safety, and you can see their logo and their information down below. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself just real briefly. I live on a farm in Northwest Iowa. I have a lot of background in farming, and I like to say everybody I know and love farms. And I've been really interested in ag health and safety for many years as my career as a registered nurse. So Sally, you're next.
Yeah, g'day, David Sullivan. I'm the Program Director for Ag Health and Safety Alliance. Also, I grew up on a farm in the southwest of Western Australia, and then moved to Canada and have been teaching Ag Health and Safety Alliance now for quite a long time. So yeah, so it's been a fun journey.
Also, I'll introduce two of our other team members right now. We have Jenna Gibbs. She lives in Iowa, near Iowa City, and she recently joined our team, gosh, I think it's about 9 months ago. And she has an industrial hygiene background, and we're really fortunate that she joined our team. And then Kayla Walls, she just joined as a graduate student intern, so we're also happy to have her. The next slide here talks about our international team, and we're very happy to have the team from other countries join and help deliver our Gear Up for Ag Health and Safety program. We have Tam Phillips from Australia, Peter Lindquist, who's in the picture there by his university with Eva. That's from our last trip there. And then also Kendra Ulmer from Canada also joins our team as well. We're in Canada. But today we're super excited that Christina is with us. I think I twisted her arm and all the things. So Christina, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'm Christina and I come from Denmark. I am educated as a farmer, but now I work as an advisor in farms. I work pretty close to the farmers. I go visit them and talk to them about safety and health, and I think that's the best thing, to visit the farmers.
And we were fortunate to meet Christina a couple of years ago and got really excited about the type of work that she's doing. And so that's what our project is about. That's what our abstract that we submitted was about. And so you have to really focus when we do the abstracts and decide exactly what you're going to talk about. So we became interested in climate change and many of what things that happen on the farm related to extreme weather threats. And so we took a look at the IPCC, and that's the United Nations body. They assess the science related to climate change. And so we wanted to think about what are the preventive actions that we want our students to take when there's a natural disaster or if something happens related to natural disasters, and how can we be safer on the farm. So we looked at some topics. We actually ended up with 11 topics. These are 4 common topics that you might think about for natural disasters: drought, wildfires, flooding, and then also avian influenza or African swine fever could be considered a disaster as well. So when we look at these types of things in agriculture, what can we do as educators, or what can Christina do, or what can Sully do when we're educating or teaching farmers or young students or young farmers like we do in our Gear Up for Ag program? So just a brief description of what Gear Up for Ag Health and Safety is. We are a nonprofit, international nonprofit, and our main program is Gear Up for Ag Health and Safety, where we teach college and in some cases, in Christina's case, as well as some high school students. Sully, maybe you could give us a little short synopsis of how would we do, what's our elevator speech for our Gear Up for Ag?
Yeah, well, I guess it's a super fun, interactive program. Very rarely are the students just sitting down and just going through the motions. We have them up and down, cover them in shaving cream, and who knows what. We're throwing candy at them so that we keep them as engaged as possible. We do a lot of research background on where we're going to find out, the types of agriculture that these students are going through, and then also that their hazards are associated with the types of farming that they do. So we're a customized program. No program is exactly the same. For example, when we went to Denmark, we had to start from scratch and even translate it into Danish. So hopefully it translated.
I think it went well. Do you remember we were standing up there and Christina, you took over, and then we had our 3M representatives as well, and they were basically teaching the class, and Sully, you and I looked at each other and we're like, we think they're saying what we want them to say. We have no idea. But it was a great program for sure. And also part of what we do is storytelling. We've done that for a lot of our programs anyway, and that's, as we move through our presentation, you'll see why the concept we are looking at from Christina's group, it became really exciting for us. So the goal of our project that we're talking about was to give agriculture students more confidence in making those important PPE decisions related to potential emergency scenarios. And I think we all know that when an emergency comes, sometimes we're unable to think through the process of what should we do now. And so if we can give students tools in our educational process, hopefully that will help them. And I'd like to turn the presentation over to Christina now, because as I have said a couple of times, this concept originated in Denmark. So Christina, tell us a little bit more about your story card concept and how you've been using it.
Yeah, we always try to think about it has to be easy for the farmers and the workers, and it has to be fun too. So this is a part of what we do to get the farmer and the workers talk together about safety, because sometimes it's just the farmer saying do this and do that. So we wanted the workers to speak up too and say what they think is dangerous or what could be better or how to talk to each other in a better way. So to get them talking, to get everybody around the table talking, we make these story cards, and they have different topics about dust and working alone, pressure washing, as you can see, and a lot of other cards. I think we have about 40 cards now. We make more if we think we need to talk about this one too. On the back side of the cards, there's a small explanation. If they don't know the rules, they are on the back of the card. So we kind of made it together with the farmers. We tried it out and went home making the better and trying them again. And at last we had, I think we started out with 20 cards. And the way we show them, we take them on the farm and we put them on the table, and everybody have to take one. They're not allowed not to take one, and they have to take one about some subject they think we should discuss around the table. And that makes everybody talk, and because of the picture, everybody can see what it's about, and that makes everybody talk. And when one person is drawing the card about something, the other ones around the table is commenting the subject, or maybe they get some kind of idea that they could talk about too, and they write it down. And if they think something should be different, they actually do it, and they say, okay, Carl, can you take care of that? And so it's not only the farmer taking care of the problems, but the workers actually do it too. I tried the cards on farms, or also on very high level farms, and it always works. It's just fantastic how what stories they can tell, and they always bring up accidents and maybe their own or maybe something they heard, and it makes big impression, and that makes them think more about safety when they're walking around on the farm, and they think maybe this is dangerous, maybe I should bring that on the next meeting, and they're getting more like excited about it instead of just boring safety. We don't want to do it because it's a farmer saying we have to do it. So actually this one, it makes them talk themselves, and that makes them actually do it.
And I think if you go through different slides here too, you can help us talk through it a little bit. You said that the stories cards have graphics, and this is a good example of your pressure washing story card. And it lists the hazards, right, Christina, right on the card, or you have them list the hazards, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you want them to state or say what the personal protective equipment is, and tips and recommendations. And we didn't make a lot of changes in the design idea, the design that you had, because we watched it work. And Sully, you were part of this too. We were a couple of years ago at Ahurst. I don't know if I even said that right. We were at a college there, and did I say it right, Christina?
No, it's Aarhus.
Christina was worried before we did this little presentation here that she wouldn't speak English right, so I don't even speak it right sometimes either. So we were very excited when we saw it in action. That's when I think we began to think about, oh gosh, how can we do that in the United States? And as Christina said, they're used in this manner, of which we got to observe. And we were excited also by what you just said, Christina, that even other groups, not just students, doesn't really matter the age, right? Other people can also, other groups.
No, everybody, I bring them to the schools where the young kids are, and they actually talk seriously about safety. And also I tried the cards on 120 farmers at one time, and I split them up in small groups and said they should do what I just said before. And it worked, and I was just surprised, and everybody loved it. And we could just talk about 4 accidents on the meeting, but it was easy for them to remember and talk about it. And that made quite a big impression, because everybody suddenly they could tell about an accident or accident close to happen.
And we also were impressed when we saw that as well. And so these are some examples. If people aren't talking, then there are a series of questions. You can kind of get the conversation moving. Christine is an excellent facilitator. We've seen her in action. And I feel like she does a good job of getting people to talk. Sully and I are not so well versed at using story cards yet. So these are our tips to help us as we begin to use them as you did. And we'll move through here. So here's when we were in Denmark last. And Sully and Christina, I'll let you talk about this, because this is where we will be. We won't be in groups with farmers. Our goal is to use this with our college or high school students. So maybe talk through what this day was like. Either one of you, both of you, I'm turning it over to you.
I'll jump in. I followed Christine around the rooms with all the groups that was separated up, and she put these cards down, and you know, she spoke to them in Danish, and there was quite a enthusiastic discussion going in between the groups on what story card resonated with them and why. And so then she translated into English for me, and it was a very powerful tool on improving agriculture health and safety is what I was seeing. And it was just amazing on how Christina could get this information, out of them so easily. So I mean, credit to Christina and these story cards.
Christina, do you recall that there's a couple pictures here? One you're explaining to the students, but I believe this was a young lady. Do you recall her story at all that she was telling?
No, I'm sorry. Actually, I was impressed because I asked some of them if they wanted to present in English, and they actually would, and it was personal stories that happened to themselves, and some of them had bad injuries for the story they told, but I can't remember what this girl told me.
I think it might be on our website. As a matter of fact, we have under our Gear Up for Ag tab, we have instructor and student feedback, and we were fortunate to get to record a couple of the students. And so there's a video out there that if you want, and I believe one of them is in Danish as well. So this is our first, no, our second observation of it, but this is what really solidified to us that we wanted to add this to our Gear Up for Ag program. So we really do thank SEGAS for helping us as we move forward. So we have started our Ag Health and Safety Alliance story card. These are 2 examples out of 11 that we are producing. We certainly don't have 40 yet. And we decided, as I said at the beginning, that our topic would be natural disasters and preparedness. So 2 of these are the flood, and you can see an avian influenza. And what you can also see is that we really have followed the same type and design almost as SEGAS has, Christina. So you'll also be one of our reviewers. These are still in draft format. This is the list that we have chosen in collaboration with the Western Center for Agricultural Health and Safety. These are the different things we felt would be most advantageous for the, and probably a lot for the Western part of the United States. But as you can see, a lot of these would certainly be applicable to many parts of the United States. And Christina, you said earlier that you came upon some of your ideas for new story cards based on what you saw happening in your classes. Is that what you said?
No, I think we get it inspired by talking to the farmers. And actually they often ask, why don't you have this story card? And maybe some new rules are coming up, or maybe when accidents happen and we realize that some topic that we don't have described is actually dangerous, then we put it on a card and put it in the group.
And I don't have a story card with me. I think I've given quite a few of mine away, but they're not very big. They're a small card that they can hold in your hands. And so you look like you're looking for the ones that you might.
I had them right beside me.
See, this is not a formal presentation. We're not 100% prepared, everybody. Christina's looking, she might have them.
I have them.
Good
I
job.
always have them on me, so that's why I had it in my bag. But they're here. The size is like this.
I'm going to stop sharing so that people can see you more. So if you would hold them up, Sully, you're better at measurement. Would there be like 6 by 8 maybe, or not quite that size? But they're good. They're not 8 by 11. They're a nice size that people could hold in their hands. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that that's also what makes them easy to use, is that people are able to hold them in their hands, they're able to look at them, they're able to really think about what they're going to talk about, or think about the hazard.
And they're also big enough for like that you can actually see the picture if the card is on the table far away. You can still see.
They pick them out, yes.
Yeah, you can still see like what's in the other end of the table. So you can go and pick it.
So,
yeah.
Just one more. We also moved a little bit further with our story cards and with the funding we have from the Western Center to create a facilitator's guide, because the concept is new and we do want others to be able to use the concept. And the facilitator's guide will just give a background definition of what the story cards are, and then suggested discussion questions, and then also provide additional resources to links about PPE, and in our case, emergency scenarios. So we are hopeful that this will move forward in the United States, much under the direction of what we've gotten from SEGAS and Christina and her team. So questions about the story cards that we've presented today. Here's our contact information. And Christina, can you think of anything else that you really would like to let the people at ISASH know who are watching us?
No, not really.
You should, I think that one thing that we felt was important was your willingness to share with us that you felt like that the story cards worked for you, but you're also happy to let us use them as well, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sully, any last important things to say about our project, or?
To learn more about us, visit our website. Yeah.
Okay. So,
And
Stay safe and healthy.
if you want to have fun educational hours, then ask Caroyn and Sally to come by. It's really great.
yes, we like hearing that. So right now I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to say, I think we're going to say enjoy ISASH Online this year, and we look forward to seeing you in person. And also, stay safe and healthy. It's an interesting and sometimes challenging time right now for many of us. So, all right. Oh, what? We could just do the gear up rag.
You're up, Rag.